Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now it's a lovely day today, the sun is out, it's nice and warm, the river is low and clear actually at the minute. We're out after trout, as you can imagine. Obviously it's close season for everything else, but we're out after trout and fingers crossed today's the day when we're going to get some big ones. I'm specifically targeting big trout today and I'm going with a sort of match the hatch style approach. Because with the water being so low and so clear, I think the fish are going to be fairly wary. So I think matching the bait fish that these fish are going to be eating is going to be crucial today. So I've got some small minnow style baits. I've got some baits that look like stickleback, that look like small trout. Without further ado, we're going to move on to the first area we're going to fish. And then I'll go through the setup and the baits I'm using today to hopefully get these bigger trout. Now I'm actually going to start off in an urban area for some urban trout, real dirty, real nasty area. There's not loads of fish, but there is a chance of a real big one there. So we're going to start off there first, aim for some big trout today, and then work our way up the river to usual spots and hopefully get a few on the bank for you. Now just upstream of where I am now is the urban area we're going to be hitting first. It goes from sort of a rural area into an urban area into a rural area again. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you the baits very quickly that I'm going to be using, because I'm not going to be talking a huge amount while I'm there. There's not too many places where I can set the big camera up. Now I am changing the hooks out on these baits. The one I've got on there is a little minnow pattern. Now that's a salmo minnow. So classically I've got it in the minnow pattern. I've also got it in small brown trout pattern, which is pretty cool. I think some of the bigger trout will be predating on the smaller trout in here because there's lots of small little trout. And I've also got stickleback pattern. I've got all different kinds of patterns. But I think predominantly stickleback pattern, trout pattern, minnow pattern of the salmo minnow. They're what we're going to be using predominantly today. 5 centimetre, bigger bait's what I'm usually using. And I'm also putting on single hooks, don't worry about that. I know this one's got treble hooks and I'm about to change them over to singles now. And I'm hoping that's going to be the key to getting some of these bigger fish. Using a bigger bait, heavier setup. I'll talk you through my setup later. It's a really nice looking one though, look at that. Real snazzy. And fingers crossed I'll get a look at the new setup and get a few big fish on the bank. So let's get off into that urban smelly area now, see if we can get some big smelly rat munching trout. I am hoping that some of these big trout might be cannibalistic and predating on their own kind. And fingers crossed we can catch a first trout on a trout. There we go, fish on. Oh, come off. That was a big trout. There we go, there's a trout. Okay, there we go. Try and save it for the bigger ones, but that's a beautiful trout look. It's got on the single hook. Not many spots on this one actually, really yellow. Beautiful fish. Nicely on up, look at that. Brown trout colour, catches brown trout. Whoa, see you later, buddy. There we go. Big trout. Got it right at my feet. What a fish. What a fish. Oh my God. What a trout. He smashed it at my feet. Oh, yes. Where's my net? Where's my net? Come on. What a trout, come on. Yes. Yes, we got it. 5 centimetre salmo minnow, and that is, oh, I just popped a meal cat in the net. That's probably a fish of £3, trout over £3. Brown trout pattern, doing the damage. And that is a specimen wild brown trout. Not the biggest I've ever caught, but that is a real nice fish. Well, like I said at the beginning of the session, it's not really a numbers game today. It's all about catching big specimen brownies, wild brown trout from this beautiful little creek. It's got some really dirty areas, that's where we're fishing now. Quite a dirty urban area, but still There's some fantastic fish to be caught. So cool. So I've caught some cracking fish on this bait so far. Now, the bait has just started to kick off to the side and actually turn under the water and come up to the surface. And it was after I had that big trout. And this can happen sometimes. It doesn't mean that your bait's completely knackered and it don't work anymore. It just means that the eye on the front of the bait is ever so slightly out of place. It can happen from being caught in a snag or catching a big fish. And all that means is you just need to use a pair of pliers to ever so slightly tweak it, either left or right, and adjust it. Keep casting it back out there to see what the action's like, and eventually you'll get it to line up. So this one I was quite lucky with. I just tweaked it ever so slightly to the left, cast it back out there, and straight away, perfectly lined up. Swimming nice and perfect again. And fingers crossed we can get some more fish on it. There we go. Got one. Yes. Yes. Such a cool location to catch one as well. Right underneath this building. Oh no. Oh, we just lost it. No. Oh, I've got a stickleback there. Ah, I really wanted to catch one here so I could have had a wicked picture. God damn it. That was cool though. There we go, there we go. Fish on, fish on. We'll keep that rod low. Oh, don't go slack, don't go slack. That's a good sized fish. Okay, it's not a monster, but he's decent, and we got it. Oh, yes. Beautiful colorations on this fish, look at that. Absolute stunner. See you later, buddy. There we go, fish on. Keep rod low. Great average size on these bigger baits. Beautiful fish. There we go, there we go. Don't jump, don't jump. They always fall off when they jump. These are all good sized little brownies. Match the predator, I guess. Now we've just finished fishing in the urban area and we've come out the other side into a much nicer stretch of river. But there tends to be not so many big ones up here, surprisingly enough. I think the ones down in the city centre like to feed on rats a lot more than they do on anything else. That's why they get so big. But that's what we're after today, those bigger trout. And that's why I've been using a relatively heavy setup compared to what I have been using for the trout on here. I'm actually using a 3 to 14 gram rod, and it's the Salmo Hornet. Now, even though it's a bit of a heavier rod, it's not actually much of a stiff action. It's actually got a relatively soft playing action on the fish, as you could probably tell when we landed those trout earlier, which makes it perfect for targeting those medium to bigger sized trout. Obviously, we're fishing bigger baits, we're fishing those 5cm minnows, so obviously we need a bit of a heavy setup to throw and to obviously land those bigger trout. Now that's paired up with the Salmo S2000 reel, obviously matches the rod with a blue trim, looks really, really nice, and that's loaded with 12-pound braid, and I'm obviously fishing an 8-pound fluorocarbon hook length, and that is basically for if I get snagged in the trees, need a bit more backbone, don't have to pull these out, especially in the urban area. I was looking trolleys and all sorts. Right, without further ado, we're going to move up the river now. Fingers crossed we'll catch some more fish, stick with this Salmo minnow, and hopefully get a few more trout to the bank in a more nicer rural setting. So unfortunately, after blasting the trout pattern minnow into a few trees, I've ended up snapping the lip on it. So it's time to change over, I think, to the stickleback pattern. There's actually a surprising amount of stickleback in this river, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's a lot of what these trout are eating. There are hundreds and thousands of these things in here. But without further ado, the first thing we've got to do is take them trebles off and swap over to some single hooks. There we go, there we go. That's a decent sized trout. Oh, it's not bad. I'll take it. I was on the stickleback. It's been a bit quiet since I've changed over to the stickleback. But I think that's because I've already worked over all the areas with the trout in them. Lovely fish. Oops. Well, I'm glad it's a single. Should we yank it out? I'm sure I can get it now. Ouch. Perfect cast. I was going to get me a trout. That's a good one. That's a good trout. Hell yes. That is a real nice one. Let's keep his head down. Okay, he's not a monster, but still a nice fish. I'll take that any day. Oh, it's come right under my feet. Oh no, it's come off. Oh, my line went slag. Did you see that? That was a rookie error. What I should have done is at least got him directly in front of me before I got the net out. I got the net out way too fast. And what I meant is the fish swam towards me, gave it a slack line and came off. Oh, I spotted a trout rising just upstream. Yeah, he was just up there where that tree's sticking out. Like I say, unfortunately, I think I would have spooked it. Well, a few casts anyway, just in case. Oh, there we go. Yes, we got it, we got it. Yes, I saw that fish rising. Whoa, he's underneath the tree. Oh, he's decent size, he's decent size. Please don't come off. This rod is a relatively soft rod, so I should be able to land it. Oh, there we go. Beautiful brownie. Well, this was a cool capture. I saw a fish rising, taking flies on the surface, which was this fish. I didn't think he'd want to go for my bait after he'd been jumping eating flies, and in fact I didn't want to get too close and spook him, but slam dunk, he smashed into that stickleback pattern minnow. It's exactly what they're eating in here. Let's get this beautiful trout back. So we're just about coming to the end of the river now, where we can just about carry on fishing because it gets really, really shallow. There's not many fish, and why would I want to carry on anyway? I've had a fantastic session, slayed the wild brownies today, especially the ones in that urban setting, caught some cracking fish. The biggest one was probably getting on for £3, if not £3. Absolutely awesome. And the common theme of this session, I mean, I brought a few different styles of bait today, but I didn't need to. Absolutely slayed it with that 5cm Salmo minnow. And the new setup absolutely crushed it too, so really, really pleased about that. So if you want to check out any of the gear that I've used, lures or setup, I'm going to leave it all down in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this session. Hopefully I might have maybe 1 or 2 more sessions for the trout before the river season properly opens up next month, so keep your eyes peeled for them. I'm also hoping to do some top water fishing soon for maybe chub and jack pike on the canal, so hopefully that'll be a good video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.